Good morning. Wanted to give you an update on the C10 with the torque converter lockout switch, time delay, everything I've done to it, and how it's working. So I put about 150, 200 miles on it. Drove it to work yesterday. That was another 80, 85 miles, and it is working out really well. Just to recap, I have three methods of locking or unlocking my torque converter, and I had the switch in the console. I had the brake light switch and the vacuum switch under the hood with a 10-second time delay on it. It's worked great. Cruising uphill, it'll unlock going up the hill and keep from lugging the engine. The issue I'm having with it now is I'm almost geared too high. I have 373s in the truck, and riding around it does fine if you're running 60 miles an hour. The torque converter will lock in, and then my RPMs go to 18, 1900, which is great. Running 45 or 50, it shifts into fourth. Torque converter locks up, and it wants to go down to 15 or 1600 RPM, and it just lugs that engine. It's got a cam in it. I have no idea of the specs, but luckily I have that switch on the console. I can unlock the torque converter, and it cruises fine. Or I can pull it back into third and take it out of overdrive. But it's working well. I have a set of 410s for the truck, but I don't think I'm going to put those in just because I do plan on LS swapping this, and I think with the 6.0 I'm going to use, it will be fine. It'll be great with the 373s. But I wanted to show you guys some of that too. So what I have, and it's raining right now, so don't want to walk out in the rain. But I picked that truck up off of Facebook Marketplace. 99 GNC Silverado, or Sierra, had a 6.0 in it. That truck had 360,000 miles on it. It's out of Michigan, and it is rusted all to pieces. But it was sitting at a shop for 4 or 5 years for a bad fuel pump. The guy didn't want to put the money in it. The shop owner finally said, "You have to get this out of here." So I picked the truck up, brought it home. Obviously it's four-wheel drive. I have a two-wheel drive C10 sitting over there. So what I did, me and a buddy pulled the motor, transfer case out, and wanted to show you what I've got going on with that. So you can see I've got it taped up, plan on painting it. But this motor is extremely greasy, nasty. I didn't know what I was going to get into with that kind of mileage. You just don't know what you're going to get. But for what I gave for the truck, I couldn't beat it. Took it out, got it out in the yard with all the accessories and everything on it, and ended up pressure washing it. And pretty cool method I have for that. Pressure wash it, get all the big chunks off, take a screwdriver, scraper, get all the big chunks of oil and grease off of it. Spray it down with just regular oven cleaner. I don't have a can sitting around. I did, and I used it all. Spray it down with oven cleaner, put a trash bag over it, and let it sit for about an hour. And what the trash bag will do is it'll keep all of the fumes and the chemicals in there, and it'll help eat off all that grease. Went back and pressure washed it the second time, and it came out really good considering what was on it. I've dealt with 40 and 50-year-old tractors that didn't have the kind of oil and grease on them this engine did. That's the side I'm getting ready to paint. This is the side I've already painted, and it turned out really well. I chose Chevy orange just because the year model of the truck, and it's a cool color. I think it'll fit the truck very well. The paint I'm using, first time I've ever used it, I really like it. Picked it up at O'Reilly's. It's this Duplicolor engine enamel with ceramic. It goes on really well. It doesn't go as far as like a Rust-Oleum, but I did put 3 or 4 coats on it. I went with their primer, their paint, and their clear coat. I'll keep it all Duplicolor. And this is the color I'm going to use for the valve covers, the oil pan, timing cover, that kind of stuff. But just to show you how nasty this thing was, this is the, as you can see, the valley cover, and it's just, I haven't cleaned this one yet, but that is just awful of how much grease, oil, and nastiness. But somebody took care of this engine. And I was amazed when I pulled the heads off. I don't know if you can see, but it's still got the factory cross-hatching in it on the cylinders. So I'm not going to do anything to the bottom end of this. I thought about tearing it apart, taking the pistons out, putting ring gap in it in case I ever do want to boost this truck. But no more boosting I would run, and the amount of miles on this engine, it would probably be fine. I'm not going to push 25 PSI on it, probably 6 or 7. So I'll take a chance with it. But super excited to be getting a 6.0 in this truck. I figured I'd find a 4.8 or a 5.3 at a decent price. I found this one cheaper than I could find a 4.8 or 5.3, but I had to do the work to get it out. But it's worth it. For what I gave for the truck, It had a full drive transmission, transfer case. I sold the transmission and transfer case for less than I paid for the whole truck, and I still have a 6.0. So I do have to buy a two-wheel drive 4L80E. I don't have to have a 4L80E. I want one, but they're all over Marketplace too. I'll end up with one of those. I do. This is an LQ4. Came with iron heads. I do have another short block that I bought just for the heads. I think I gave $200 for that, but it has the 862 heads on it. Not the best flowing head, but a definite upgrade for this block because it'll up my compression a little bit, and for what those heads weigh, geez, it ought to take a lot of weight off the front end of the truck too. But just a little bit at a time. I've got time, no hurry. Thank goodness it's not my daily driver, so I can just do what I want with it. But just want to do a quick update. I have no idea how long this is going to take me. Again, I've got a great running small block in that truck. I will continue to drive it as long as I can. But I am excited about getting the LS in it. Anyway, wanted to update you guys.